Still on the same, the rebranding process. We've talked about this from just a few months after the election came to an end, and now we're still talking about it. Still, in as much as yes, you have mentioned that the rebranding process is quite tedious. It's a lengthy one. We still have seen just within the party itself how members would attack each other and even not consider the fact that the party obviously needs to grow. I may cite some examples of one of your members, Bizwe Mtale, who continuously is against the leadership of the Patriotic Front now, and him obviously now wanting to even take up the presidency as you're getting closer and closer to the general conference. Do you feel that the continuous talking of the rebranding itself here is just something that you are utilizing to remain relevant in the political environment?
Not at all. Not at all. Politics is a game, and it's a game that involves quite a lot of things. Conflicts arise internally and also externally. So you see, like I said, rebranding is a process. And I think all those squabbles, different opinions coming from different people, I think it's part of rebranding. The Patriotic Front is a very democratic party. And we allow, internal democracy, to prevail. And so when you see that we have got comrades like Bizwe Mtale and these others, trying to rise against the leadership or certain decisions, that should, make you happy, because you are able to tell that there is no dictatorship. It's not about one person. It's not about two people. It's not about maybe a few individuals. It's about every person's participation in the process of finding, proper leadership that will go with come 2026. So the issues of these squabbles, these people differing in opinions and all that, I have differed with my leadership before, but that doesn't mean that then we are not doing anything. That is part of the game. And to say we are doing all this process to remain relevant or whatever it is, no, relevance is very important, because the UPND needs a very relevant party to give them checks and balances. And I can tell you, like I said earlier on, that what we are doing is exactly what the UPND needs. And this is the reason why, instead of delivering on their promises, all they do is in the morning when they wake up after tea, PF this. After reading newspapers in their offices, PF that. After their briefings, PF this. After lunch, even during lunch, they discuss the Patriotic Front instead of discussing things that are going to be, beneficial to you and me, since they are coming into government on the premise of a lot of promises. So I can tell you that Comrade Bizwe Mtale and many other, members of the party, I think you've seen that some of them have even left, some of them are still there, but they're still making a lot of noise. That is to tell you that the party is alive. That is to tell you that we are people that believe in the democratic tenets that we've sworn to as members of the party. So we are intact.
Mr. Ngwira, what are some of the key focal points that are going to be taking part in this rebranding of PF? So, I mean, for the whole premise of the party is they are a pro-poor party. That we understand. But then when it comes to rebranding, there's a lot of people, this is just coming from a simple scroll through social media comments, who have very negative things to say about the PF. How do you plan on changing the perception that the party currently has toward the public? How is that going to take place?
Like you've said, the Patriotic Front was, formed on the premise of being a pro-poor party. And obviously, along the way, when we were in government, we obviously saw quite a number of, diverting from, what we preached to maybe certain things that could have affected us to even lose power. We had some characters that could, flash money and, behave in a certain way. And I think for us, that's the basis, from where we want to start. You understand? We need to, first of all, have a change of mindset. We have to get back, to the original Patriotic Front that, the Zambian people, including you, I'm sure, that time you could have been in your stages of growing up. Not that you are young, but of course, that time. Yeah, we want to again appeal to the Zambian people. How do we do that? We have to change our mindset as members, first of all, as leaders. How do we change the mindset? By recognizing and accepting that there are certain things that we did which were not good with the Zambian people. So on that one, then, believe you me, we are going to have a very good track. How do we change the mindset? By, after realizing the mistakes that we did, having a heart of repentance. How do we repent? By making sure that cadreism is dealt with. Misbehavior and indiscipline within the party is actually dealt with. And this is exactly what the leaders that have been privileged in acting positions, and some are actually substantive, that is what they are doing.
So given the fact, sorry Justin,
Go
given
ahead.
the fact that you will be dealing with a very different public, so we would say the millennials, Gen Zs, these are the ones that effectively did usher the UPND into government because it was the youth vote, majority youth vote. So if we look at it from that premise, if you do have people who are recycled, I'll put it that way, without causing offense to anyone, but the likes of Given Luvinda, Mr. Nakachinda, these are faces and names that we've been hearing for many, many years. Do you think that that's a way of appealing to the local public that you have now? Would this help in the rebranding for the PF?
I'll be honest with you, politics, like I said, is a game that needs the experienced. It needs, those that are new entrants and all that. We cannot, in totality, get rid of those that could have been there because they understand the strengths. They understand, where to touch. They understand, who to speak to at a certain, period of time. Let me give you an example. If today Chanoda becomes president of the party, I just joined the party, I think, recently. I was not there in the days of the formation and all that. I'll have it very difficult for me to thrive, not because I cannot, but I need some sort of history. I need some sort of, old faces so that we blend together. So yes, I can assure you, and I can assure the viewers that we are going to have a mixture of different individuals in leadership. We are going to have new entrants to, get key positions. And we are going to have the old people also, being in the forefront. Just like in the UPND today, believe you me, almost most of these ministers have been recycled. Some of them, actually they have been part of all successful governments. You talk of, sorry to mention, Honorable Mutati, you talk of the likes of our current Minister of Finance, you talk of the Garin Combos who were part of the MMD then and all that. So I think, to be honest with you, there is no political party that can succeed without having a history being part of them. And that history has to be in individuals because they understand the terrain of general politics.
Mr. Ngwira, you speak of experience, and over the last couple of months that have gone by, we have seen some PF members making comments saying that it's actually the leadership that was there before that is even here now as one of the reasons as to why the PF is failing to rebrand itself. Don't you think that the public are tired of seeing the same faces, and maybe the PF needs a different or new kind of leadership, or obviously having the much experienced ones in the background?
Of course, you see, I'll be honest with you, you'll be surprised, the person that is going to come out or emerge out as president.
So
you'll
you
be
already
surprised.
know who
You'll be surprised. No, I don't know, because we're going for a general election, and a general conference, and I can tell you that there are some that have not actually even expressed yet that they want to stand. So this is a party that is loved by the people. Yes, people are complaining that we are seeing the same people that made us fail. I think by and large, for me, that could be some, sorry to use this word, some political immaturity in a way, because believe you me, you cannot and you can never succeed. I'll keep on saying this. You can never succeed without history. You have to have history with you, so that at least as you go forward, you would have known that, okay, I think this is where we went wrong. I'll give you an example. The same leaders that made us to lose elections, I think there are reasons, why they made us to lose elections. And I'm sure they have learned that, okay, I think we did this, we did that, we did this. So to help the young ones that are coming on board, I think we have to tell them to say, use this direction because we were there, us, and now you are here. But please don't do this. Let's not do that. So trust you me to claim that the rebranding is failing because it's the same names that are there. It's not true. Some of the names have gone. Some of the names have actually retired there in the background. And it's not everybody that is going to be in the forefront. The people that are there now are holding on to a party in terms of positions and all that. Come the general conference, we'll have a totally different, individuals on board. Some will be appointed as members of the Central Committee. We've seen that there are quite a number of people that have come to join in the team of the members of the Central Committee. And we're hoping that more and more people are coming on board. We've got the likes of Malama. He was in the civil service. He was not part of, in the limelight of the Patriotic Front. We know Comrade Kafwaya, Honorable Mundubire, and all that. These are the people that were never anywhere near to talk about presidency of the party. So that can tell you that, okay, I think the rebranding process will have a mixture of those that have been there and those that have not been there. It's just a normal game, and it has to be like that.
So you bring up the term immature politics, right? So just in that, I'd like to throw out the infamous binoculars era that we lived through. There was this moment where we did see a certain politician moving with binoculars during certain conferences. When it comes to that, do you not think that there needs to be a level of seriousness when it comes to the party now? Because that also is in itself attained to the party. It is an image that is attached to the party itself. So when it comes to the whole rebranding process, could we possibly see some level of decorum and diplomacy as opposed to what can be termed as comical when it comes to checks and balances with this government?
Well, I don't know what you mean by the binoculars to be comical and also not, a certain decorum that we expect and maybe, to say the least, lack of seriousness. That is just a symbol to show you that we're actually able to see beyond what, an eye can catch. Honorable Nakachinda is simply saying, you cannot hide. We will use the binoculars to check what you are doing.
Words are incapable of saying that?
Sorry?
Words are incapable of saying that?
Well, you see, politics is about perception. Politics is about, new ideas. People have to have a name attached to them. They have to be identified by, certain things that they do. It might look so comical. It might look so, so uncommon. But believe you me, every time that he zooms in, he will tell you that this is what is happening. And indeed, that comes out to be the correct thing. And so you cannot call that to be comical or something. So in short, I think Honorable Nakachinda has identified himself with the binoculars to show the UPND government and the Zambian people that actually he's able to go beyond what the eye or what the eyes of the Zambian people, can, where the eyes of the Zambian people can reach. So for me, I think I'm very comfortable. And actually, by the way, you might call it comical, but you know that the president doesn't sleep over that. The president keeps on mentioning the binoculars. The president keeps on talking about the same Nakachinda, who has, branded himself with the binoculars. So for me, I think it must work because I think you should be happy as the millennials that we are seeing politicians identifying, themselves with what technology can bring.
As we get to conclude with our conversation, let's talk about the general conference. Some members of the public feel that you're only being outspoken because you're hopeful that you might receive a position when the general conference does come through. What is your comment to this, Mr. Ngwira, especially when you talk about how members of the public see you, not seeing you as a faithful politician to political parties, but instead you're only doing this because you want to jump the line and receive a position in the party?
I've been in the PF, I think, for the last 8 years or so. And I joined when the party was already in power. I've been like this. I've always spoken. And I think history can tell that even at the time that we were in power, I used to stand against certain decisions of the party. I used to praise, certain decisions being done by the party. So to be accused that probably I want a position, that's why I'm speaking, then that's a lie, because I've been very consistent. Even when I was in UPND, by the way, you know, because I've just belonged to two political parties, the UPND as well as the PF. Even in the UPND,
well, the issue
I used to speak, you know. I'm just trying to tell you that I've been consistent. I don't need a position. For this mouth to speak, it does not need someone to give me a position or not. There have been appointments, I think 3 times or so, and I've not been appointed. I've not changed, you know. I've been at the same, you know, level of speaking. I'm sure if my aim was to get a position, hence me speaking, by now I would have been demoralized. But no, this is Chanoda, and this will remain Chanoda. With or without a position, I'll speak. My interest is not a position. My interest is to speak for those that might not have an opportunity to speak. My interest is to speak for both the Patriotic Front and those that might not belong to the Patriotic Front. So it is not true. Like you've said, I'm too outspoken. I would have said it is not true, then it ends there. But I needed to justify and explain to say, I think when it comes to consistency, I think I'm one of the people that, you know, come out regards that. Yeah.
So in short, you're saying you're not expecting to receive any position even after the general conference is done away with. When you go to your general conference and after members have been elected to hold certain positions, you're comfortable with
I'm
where you
very comfortable with the way I am. My focus is the people of Joseph. My focus is to represent the people of Joseph. If maybe someone would accuse me to say he's speaking like this because he has got an interest in Joseph, maybe they could be closer to the truth, when in fact not. I want to be honest with you. My priority now is to represent the people of Joseph. And come 2026, definitely, if an opportunity was given, I was definitely going to, you know, represent the people. But going forward, with or without a position, Chanoda will still continue talking. Even after the general conference, with or without a position, Chanoda will still continue talking. It's not about the position. It's about the passion that you have, you know, to give a service to the Zambian people. It's about the love that you have. You cannot speak about politics. She cannot speak about politics. You guys are media people. You may have ideas to say, but here I think things are not going on well. And once you whisper to Chanoda, Chanoda tomorrow will be all of speaking about the same. And so that is what, you know, I feel I'm duty bound to do.